a better thing to do? I don't know if you could find one on a Saturday in Denver than to head to Coors Field for Rockies baseball. The Rockies continuing this series with the San Francisco Giants after a 4-1 win last night over San Francisco. Hi, everybody. Jack Corrigan from 850 KOA filling in for Drew Goodman again this afternoon. And George, we saw with Jhoulys Chacín last night. We get Jorge De La Rosa today. If you're going to build a rotation, you need the horses up front.
Well, it's kind of nice to have a 1-2 punch that they have with Chacín and De La Rosa for what they've combined to do. 7-3, 8-4. Well, that's 15 of the 29 wins by the starters this season. Very fine earned run average. The opposition not able to handle them also, but the steadiness of what they brought to the rest of the rotation in this ball club. Today we're going to get a look at De La Rosa. He's going to go on the mound against Matt Cain. And De La Rosa on the season 8-4. Cain, you see the numbers against Colorado in his career, 17-7. But even though he's pitched well, he's given up runs against the Rockies this year, 3-0, 653. De La Rosa on the other side of that has utilized a changeup, a very good changeup at the home park. Look at the record, 5-1, 3.
De La Rosa, the lefty, heading into the dugout as we get ready for the Rockies and the Giants. Michael Kadire again hitting fourth today, and Kadire, what a bat he has had in the lineup. Last night, Michael Kadire extended his hitting streak, the longest in the majors, to 25 with a big fly off Zito to right field. He got a cutter that was up and in, and he didn't miss it. 25 games and counting for Michael Kadire. And let's talk about the lumber that Michael Kadire uses. This is one of his C360 Louisville Sluggers. He just got a new shipment of bats to Coors Field on Friday, and we got a chance to watch him take all the bats out. He would weigh them. They are 34-32s. He started using this bat in 2009. He weighed them to make sure they were all the weight he wanted. If they were under 32 ounces, he gave them to Todd Helton. But this is the bat that he has been using during this hitting streak, and he broke 10 bats during the road trip, and now he's got a bat he's using that he's hit 3 homers with. But this is the Louisville Slugger. An interesting note, by the way, he has the same BP bat since spring training. That one hasn't broke at all. But Kadire wants to continue his hit streak with his lumber here today as the Rockies take on the Giants in Game 2 of this 3-game series. When we come back, Jorge De La Rosa hits the hill, and Michael Kadire will be in right field, and then, of course, at the dish. Rockies and the Giants, first pitch next on Root Sports.
Do you buy your 7 neighborhood Toyota stores? Toyota, let's go places. By King Soopers, more value for the way you live. By the Courtyard by Marriott, Western elegance in the cultural heart of the city. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Back here at Coors Field, Jorge De La Rosa and the Rockies looking to continue their good play as they tangle with a Giants offense that has struggled a lot this year, and especially so without Angel Pagan, their leadoff hitter. Andres Torres is going to try and fill that role today for manager Bruce Bochy. And as we look at the rest of the Southwest Airlines starting lineup for the Giants, Tony Abreu is going to be in there in place of Marco Scutaro. Then it's Posey, Pence, and Sandoval, the big 3. Juan Perez we'll see in center field. Quiros catching. Brandon Crawford at short for Matt Cain.
As we take a look at Jorge De La Rosa on the mound, an 8-4 record, 93 innings thrown this year, 8-4 in his career versus the San Francisco Giants. 3.74 earned run average. He went 6 innings back in April. He went May 17th, 5 innings, 5 runs. That snapped a 14-inning scoreless streak for Jorge De La Rosa. Like to carry over what's gone on of late. He's thrown the ball well, particularly in Washington. 6 innings, 2 runs.
Well, as George and I said at the outset, boy, if you can get your 1-2 in the rotation pitching like Chacin and De La Rosa have of late, all of a sudden you're a pretty good team.
Never have extended losing streaks. That's the key. You've got a stopper. Everybody thinks stoppers at the end of the bullpen. No, you've got a stopper in that rotation. And when you have 2, it makes all the difference in the world. Look at San Francisco Giants the last couple of years.
Torres is switch hitter, so he'll bat from the right side against De La Rosa. Jorge's first pitch of the game is not very close. But like a lot of good pitchers, Georgie, the guy once in a while that takes a little while to get it fine-tuned in the early innings.
He's one of those guys that if you let him settle into a game, get into that 3rd or 4th inning and get his rhythm with the changeup, the slider, you're in for a long day if you're the opposition.
And doesn't get that outside corner of home plate umpire Bob Davidson, so it's 3-0.
Last night the Giants leadoff hitters of every inning, 1 for 8. The home run coming with Posey in the 9th off Rex Brothers. The rest of the ball club struggled. Posey 3 for 4. The rest 1 for 27.
Bob Davidson calling the balls and strikes this afternoon. Jim Reynolds, John Hirschbeck, the crew chief out there at second, and James Hoy. This will be a base hit for Torres. And the Giants 2 straight innings now, George, from last night to today, get the leadoff man on.
Here I brag about holding the leadoff man and not allowing him any further, and sure enough, you're right. A couple of base hits here.
Today's defense brought to you by XL Energy. We bring you the energy you need so you can live the life you want. Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more. Corey Dickerson getting his 2nd start in center field. Johnny Herrera will be the shortstop this afternoon, and Yorvi Torrealba doing the catching for De La Rosa.
Early in the ball game, though, when you're facing Torres, you go ahead and challenge with the fastball instead of throwing something off speed and walk him. Make him hit to get on. He did it.
First pitch strike to Tony Abreu. Another switch. Oh, no, they did. It is Marco Scutaro. So we stand corrected on that. There goes the runner, and no throw. He got everybody, Bruce Bochy. He was talking about perhaps using Scutaro, and apparently Marco, who has been dealing with a finger issue, was available, and he's in the lineup. So a stolen base for Torres. And a 1-1 count on Scutaro.
He'll do everything in his powers to hit the ball to the right side. And that's exactly what he does. Gives himself up and makes De La Rosa make the play out in front, advance the runner. Well, let's take a look at what Jorge likes to utilize during a ball game when he's attacking a hitter. He'll use the fastball the majority of the time at 91+ miles an hour. Back it up with a very efficient changeup that he has been able to work to both sides of the plate at 83. A good variance in velocity there. Slider curveball will follow that. The changeup, the primary secondary pitch.
Buster Posey now, and when they gave us those numbers yesterday about Posey against the Rockies,
scary, wasn't it?
45 games in a row now he has gotten on base against Colorado. 3 hits last night, triple shy of the cycle. Well, with the Giants having issues offensively. Not surprising that Torres would steal and then get the sacrifice, trying whatever they can to get some runs.
Last night in the 9th inning against Rex Brothers, with his streak on the line, he got a 3-1 fastball and hit it out to right field in that wind tunnel here at Coors Field.
He's hitting .413 in his career against Colorado. De La Rosa using the windup, gets ahead of ball and 2 strikes. Posey on the season. It's the other thing that's impressive. In nearly 300 plate appearances, he has struck out 34 times.
Amazing. A contact guy, and right now, early in this ball game, obviously the Rockies have to play the infield back, get an out.
Nearly caught the back foot with that slider, but the count levels at 2-2. Is what he does at Coors Field, Buster Posey, so even better than the overall mark, but still pretty good at home too. And again, that slider is too far inside, full count. I think the thing that impresses me the most about Posey is these circumstances in a 2-strike situation. He doesn't really change. I mean, he's still able to do the things necessary to help his ball club.
Just a very, very good line drive hitter. Contact guy, quick hands.
And got him. Foul tip held on to by Torrealba. A changeup which has been so good for George of late. And Mr. Frazier, that was pretty.
That was very pretty. Watch it come out of the hand. That semi-split-fingered fastball. But look at the pronation out front on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. A lot of bend to the baseball. Totally fooled Posey. You don't see him that far out in front of pitches very often.
Big second out. Now Hunter Pence, the man that De La Rosa needs to get to keep the Giants from scoring.
And more of a free swinger. You can get him to chase balls like that last changeup thrown.
So if you're going to be in that scenario, George, obviously first pitch strike then becomes very important, and he got it against Pence.
Right, and so far 8 strikes 7 balls, but a lot of those just missing off the plate, particularly early to Torres.
Pence with a dozen homers. That's tops on this Giants club. They have struggled for power. 1 ball and 1 strike on the Astro, Philly, and now Giant.
A player that plays the game the right way, a wanted commodity in the game of baseball.
Doesn't look graceful at anything, but is very good.
Very successful in a lot of things.
But he'll pop up here on the infield. Good pitch by De La Rosa. Jammed him with a fastball. And with a man at third and less than 2 outs, the Giants don't score. Rockies coming to bat. first inning. The Rockies recognizing the
now,
Phillips family, Troy and Malia, their mom Michelle. Michelle's husband, Technical Sergeant David Sean Phillips, is serving our great nation in Kabul, Afghanistan. It's great, not just here, George, but throughout baseball. People are recognizing the sacrifices the family makes, and how about that?
Yeah, they didn't know he was home. He's been home for a day and a half, and he called the Rockies and said, I'd really like to do this. And, of course, that's obviously a very happy family at this moment.
And we salute Technical Sergeant David Sean Phillips and all the people like Sergeant Phillips who have done so much for our country.
Center fielder, number 6.
That is a happy family here at Coors Field. And Corey Dickerson, who's leading off for the Rockies, he was ready to get in the box, and he said, you know, I'm a rookie, but I know this moment needs to be extended a little bit. So here's Dickerson facing Matt Cain. We'll get you the Rockies lineup in a moment as Corey in there for Dexter Fowler. Dexter still not able to play with the issues with his right hand and wrist. And they hinted around that a couple of more days, and if Dex can't go, then they'll probably have to put him on the disabled list.
Yeah, an unfortunate situation too because of the wrist situation. Not the hand so much more as it is the wrist now. Difficult for Dexter to sit out.
Yeah, you're already missing Tulo, of course, and then you lose your leadoff hitter. 2-1 the count here on Corey. There's Dex, and he's certainly doing everything he can to play, but as George knows, Walt Weiss has talked about it, this is a tough game to play if you have a hand issue.
Well, very difficult to play, particularly on throwing hands, different things of that nature. You're trying to do things with it, swing the bat as a switch hitter. It's just almost nearly impossible to play the game.
Corey with 3 doubles in 11 at bats since coming up. Foul this one out of play. I love watching a guy like Corey, who they always liked as a hitter, but they didn't know if he'd ever develop enough defensively, and now he's playing center field.
Well, it's second time at the big league level. He played against the Mets the other day. He played a little bit of center field in high school and junior college. One thing that he has played throughout his career and played it very efficiently has been hitter. He can really swing the bat.
Talked about Buster Posey as a line drive guy. That's certainly the MO for Corey Dickerson.
Yeah, you're not going to see a lot of power from Corey. I think he can develop into 15, maybe 20 home runs. He's still a very young kid. But it's not because of lack of hustle. His effort never takes a day off.
And how about another 2-bagger? It might be 3. They'll pencil, run it down, and they'll put the stop sign on. Gee, you come to the big leagues, you get 4 hits, and they've all been for 2 bases.
Well, they just don't want him stealing second, so they just let him. He jams it so hard it always ends up a double on the deal. He'd been away from him with fastball after fastball, so he decides to come back to that inner half on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. Misses his location by almost a foot, and Dickerson makes him pay for it. Dickerson out of the box as usual. On the run, thinking 3. I'll stop. It's 2 if I have to. Vince, nice job off the wall to get the ball back in.
147 doubles for the Rockies now. Here's DJ LeMahieu, really playing well right now, and DJ will put a bunt down. Cain will fire to his first baseman Posey to get the out, but just as the Giants had done, the Rockies put that runner to third with less than 2 outs. Here's the Southwest Airlines Rockies starting lineup. You've seen the first 2 hitters, and no doubt about who's going to be in the 3 spot. That's Carlos Gonzalez. Cuddyer, Helton, and Arenado follow. Yorby Torrealba catching today. Johnny Herrera is the shortstop for Jorge De La Rosa. Cargo, after a tough road swing, started to light it back up last night. Batting average back up to 300.
Yeah, pretty typical, take a fastball away, a running fastball. The numbers on Kane so far this year started out rather rough, and now it's gotten much better. 5-4, 101 innings so far. And his last 3 starts has pitched well. An all-star in 09, 11, and 12 against the Rockies, mentioned earlier in his career. 17-7 this year, 2-0 with a 635 earned run average. Another look at the overall numbers for him. A very low whip, still high strikeout totals for him. People talked about his velocity dropping, but the pitchability has increased, particularly the trust of the changeup.
He gets ahead of Cargo, and one of the reasons Cargo hasn't been here for all of that stretch, but Kane has had terrific work against Gonzalez. Cargo is 4 for 38 in his career against Matt Kane.
For whatever reason, there's that guy you don't pick the ball up off of, Jack. And not only that, I think too, Kane does a good job with the off-speed pitches, and he's not afraid to throw them behind in counts. He's going outside and away to minimize power.
That evens the count, and there's Dickerson can get a very good lead because the Giants have their infield pulled around. Pablo Sandoval way off the bag, you can see there. So if you take that lead equivalent to his distance, that's a pretty healthy one. That'll make the fans somewhere down the right field line happy, because that's a Cargo souvenir. Last time Matt Kane pitched here in Denver, he was behind 6-0. But the Giants rallied that night to win. It's the only game they've won so far here in Denver this year. Got it with the changeup. So Matt Kane doing what De La Rosa did to Posey, Kane does to Cargo. The defense around Matt Kane this afternoon: Torres, Perez, and Pence in the outfield. And the normal set on the infield with Scooter on there, except Posey at first base and Quiros doing the catching. Defense brought to you by XL Energy. Make the choices that fit your life, and XL will provide you the energy to power it. Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more. Michael Kadire with a 25-game hitting streak, trying to give the Rockies the early lead.
Right guy at the plate. This is somebody that doesn't give in on at bats, and meaning that he'll take an outside pitch to right field, inside pitch looking in. I mean, it's just a very quality type at bat. Last night, to extend that hitting streak you're talking about, Jack, it was a big hit. Right field separated the game from the Giants to give the Rockies a win.
He has hit 3 home runs this week, 14 on the year. This is just the 3rd at bat he's had against Matt Kane. He's down 2 strikes. But he's going to extend the hitting streak and give the Rockies a 1-0 lead. Michael Kadire, 26 in a row, comes up with a 2-out, 2-strike RBI single.
Good 2-strike hitter that doesn't try to do too much. Talked about that. So you think back up the middle, and if he makes a mistake, I'm going to make him pay. Breaking ball that stayed right out over the plate. Now look at Kadire's head. Look at his eyes. Focus so much. You really picked that up on the Mike Shaw Subaru Super Bowl. And then just shoots it by the shortstop into center field for a base hit, an RBI, his 48th.
So the Rockies convert after the Giants did not. Todd Helton will try and keep it going. That's the remarkable thing. I mean, 26-game hitting streak, but hitting nearly 400 in the streak.
Yeah, it's not like a 1 for 4 every night. He has done a lot of damage.
Todd Helton didn't play in last night's game. Brings that 240 mark to the plate you saw a few moments ago. Michael Kadire began the game 5 points behind Yadier Molina for first place in the batting race in the National League.
And if he's not tipping his cap at the foul line for the National League All-Star game, Jack, it's going to be a shame.
Without question. I mean, he is second in batting. He is 11th in runs batted in. He's tied for 10th in homers. And the numbers, as we know, don't begin to tell you the Cuddyer story. 2-0 to Todd.
And for all those sitting at home going, yeah, okay, he plays at Coors Field, so home and away, what do you expect out of that? Well, let me just put it this way. It's 376 at home, 323 on the road.
Yeah, that's
not only that, of his 14 home runs, 6 have been on the road. So don't throw that comparison of Coors Field at me, because it's not acceptable.
And if they're going to do that, then the guy pitching today for the Rockies or the guy pitching last night should merit even more consideration, because they pitch here at Coors Field.
I would agree.
2-2 now on Helton, but for some reason, well, we're the isolated team in so many ways from a media perspective, but it doesn't work both ways. You punish the hitters, but you don't credit the pitchers. I don't get it.
I don't understand. And what's even more impressive about De La Rosa is his home record through his career. Done very well here at Coors Field. 18 games over 500 at 39-21.
He's been given a 1-0 lead. Cuddyer will break on the pitch as Posey backs up on the 3-2 to Helton.
Pretty good swing by Todd. Not off that pitch at all.
Of course, with the hit for Michael Cuddyer, not only the 26 games consecutively with a hit, it's now 45 games in a row that he's reached base safely, and he's hit in 41 of those 45 games. Todd drives it down the right side, but the wind is going to push it foul.
Helton with 3 career home runs against Matt Cain. He's seen him more than anybody else in the lineup, 58 times. But Cain's won most of the battles. Helton has hit 207 against him, but of those 58 at bats, he's put the ball to play, just 6 strikeouts.
6 of the 12 hits, extra base hits, 3 doubles besides the 3 homers George referenced. And ball 4, it skips away from Quiros, but not far enough for Cuddyer to think about anything else. And the Rockies keep this inning going, just what you want to do. Matt Cain, a guy who early in his career, George, would really get into extended pitch counts early. He has been avoiding that this year, even if the numbers aren't quite as good. So here we are, 25 pitches, and he's not out of the first.
The one thing he does do, though, this is his 15th start or 16th start of the year. There's only been 5 starts so far that he hasn't thrown more than 100 pitches in a ball game. The term workhorse fits well.
Yep. No, there's been no doubt in that regard. I mean, that's why I think, George, some of the Giants' problems this year, because Matt Cain still given the innings and the effort, but not getting the results.
Well, I think too, Jack, with a lot of the starters this year, you think of the extended seasons with 2 World Series and playoffs and the innings that have mounted up. I know Cole Hamels threw 270 when the Phillies won, and the next year had a horrible year and dealt with a lot of different injuries over that span. I think it was due to the 270 innings, obviously.
I agree with you wholeheartedly in that regard.
It's a great deal to win, but it's also, there's a price you have to pay.
Got Arenado to chase on a 2-0, 2-1 on Nolan with 2 on and 2 out. And last year for the Giants, their 5-man rotation, Cain, Bumgarner, Lincecum, Vogelsong, and Zito, started 160 of their 162 regular season games. Now 3-1 on Arenado. So that kind of continuity certainly a bonus. And as George said, unfortunately for the Giants, at least so far this year, they're paying for that on top of the extended numbers in 2010.
No question. Three ball counts so far. Just that pitch count you're talking about. Whoop, what again? Oh man, that's going to be close.
John Hirschbeck out there called him safe. Scudero running off the field. They thought they got him.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't know if they got him or not, or if the hand got back in. Really close. We're going to take a better look at this right here. It's going to tell the story. He's got the ball well ahead of Kadire getting back. The hand hits before the tag is applied. Good catch. Good call by John Hirschbeck.
Bruce Bochy's still an unhappy guy in the third base dugout. See if the Rockies can take advantage. Playable for the center fielder Perez. Or make that. Yep, Perez makes the grab. It'll end the inning, but Michael Kadire extends his hitting streak with an RBI single. The Rockies with the early lead here in Denver. Streak extending RBI single gives the Rockies an early lead. And you Rockies fans, this season we want to answer your questions on air during Toyota Talk. Text the word Toyota followed by your question to 720-720 and watch as your questions are answered during the fifth inning of every game. Jorge De La Rosa stranded a runner at third in the first inning. Sandoval, Perez, and Quiros will be the opposition for Georgie, as the skipper likes to call him. Sandoval reaching. LeMahieu wants it, and DJ's got it. Well, Sandoval missed 2 weeks of action with a foot injury, and he hasn't found his stroke back, and let's hope he doesn't find it till at least Monday.
Or a little time after that too.
Yeah, that could be.
Well, a good player when right. There's no question.
Juan Perez now, our first look at this youngster. 265 so far, and interesting that he's playing in center field, and he's been an outfielder a lot, but at AAA this year he was playing third base for the Giants. 2 strikes the count on Perez. He has been to the plate just 34 times, 9 hits, 1 extra base hit.
Now this offense of the Giants has gone to sleep of late. With Sandoval coming back, they wanted to keep his bat in the lineup, hit 265, some bigger numbers put up to give him a chance here, try to get things going.
Well, and one of the guys who was also helping the Giants early in the year, Brandon Crawford, still has good numbers, but he's been in a slump. The 1-2.
But yet, just like the Rockies, because of the division, nobody running away with it. It's a scary thought to think of, you know, when Tulowitzki gets back, how much distance, maybe what Bochy's team could do when they all get completely healthy or start to swing the bat.
Another good off-speed pitch, and Perez is a strikeout victim, this time on the changeup. What George was referencing, you can see how bunched the Giants in fourth place. The Dodgers had a winning streak stopped last night. We'll see the Dodgers Monday, Tuesday, or excuse me, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week. A couple of big fireworks nights.
Those are always a lot of fun.
Guillermo Quiros is the catcher. He doesn't play a lot, as you would expect with Posey. They also have a third catcher, Hector Sanchez. 2 balls and no strikes. He has been to the plate 42 times. 7 hits for the 167 mark, and one of those 7 hits a long ball. Good off speed again, 2-1. What's the key, George? Is it the arm action, or it's just the action he's getting on the ball?
Well, part of it is when you throw the split finger and how you throw it. And I had one of the better guys in all of baseball teach me the hand action. Is that it's all about the wrist with the split finger. And as we've seen, you can see coming back on it. And it's the grip and what's comfortable with the grip. And I think, Jack, that what you got to think about when you throw a split, so your fingers got to be outside the baseball. A lot of guys try to push it. Well, when you push it, it comes out backwards and it floats a reverse spin. What you're trying to get is get the ball, and Hub Kittle taught me, and along with Bruce Sutter and some other guys, you want to pull that ball straight through the eyes of the catcher, right down the middle of the chest and through the center of the body. And when you pull in that direction, you're going to get a hard tumble action on the ball. Sometimes when you grip really tight on the baseball and go outside the seams, you end up getting a knuckle action on the baseball. But the key is to get the extension out front. And if you don't get the extension out in here, way out front with it, and have that pull down, that's when it hangs and it just floats.
Well, and then is that same reason that when we talk about arm action, fastball, changeup, the same, you want to get that extension, and guys cheat when they throw the changeup.
No question. That's exactly right. And what you can do, though, is when it's split like this, obviously you've got a big drag on the baseball. So you can keep that same arm action, but get great reaction on the baseball as he has here at 84 again, and another strikeout for De La Rosa.
He's got 3 punch-outs, all on changeups, and the Rockies have the lead.
with a 1-0 lead over the Giants. Time for your Coors Light cold hard fact. This has to do about the Rockies getting to 40 wins. They won their 40th win of the season last night. It is 4th fastest that they've gotten to 40 wins when you look at the calendar date. They get it on June the 28th. Only 3 other seasons, 03, 2000, and 1997, did they get to 40 wins faster. So 40 and 41 at the halfway point. We will take it. Right, guys?
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, and even more to the point, when you look and see that the club's just 3 out of first place, that's the other good thing to look at here at the halfway point.
Well, I think, too, a lot of people felt like 95 wins would be what it would take to win the division. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think anybody in the division will win 95.
I don't know if anybody in the division is going to win 90, George.
It's a tough division.
2-1 now on Torey Alba. Matt Cain gave up a couple of hits, a walk, struck out a man. Corey Dickerson, a leadoff double, scored on a Kadire single, and Yorvi Torrealba just continues to swing the bat well in the starting lineup. Torrey with the leadoff single. Who wants tacos? Well, remember, if the Rockies score 7 or more runs during any game, go to a participating Colorado Taco Bell location the next day between 4 and 6 p.m. and you can get your Rockies taco special. Now, the Rockies had a tough decision in spring training and went with Torey Alba rather than Ramon Hernandez, and Torey has justified things as Johnny Herrera bloops this one that Crawford wants. The shortstop makes the first out.
But beyond swinging the bat and receiving the ball, the tutorial that he's put on Marlene Rosario along with Jerry Weinstein has been off the charts. And I think just understanding how to call a game, how to utilize your strength as a young catcher. Torey Alba was one of those guys when he came up with this club he's playing today, the San Francisco Giants. And don't go up in the locker room. Don't go get a drink of water. When we're hitting, watch. Watch their pitchers. When we're pitching, watch what I call. Watch how it happens during the game and grow with it.
Well, and the nice thing in that relationship is Wallin is such a willing student, if you'll pardon the pun. I mean, he is a sponge.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. He's soaking in everything.
The bunt put down. Sandoval makes a bad throw, and Torey Alba digging for 3, and that throw is bad. That will enable De La Rosa to get to second.
Easy double play ball turns into second and third and 1 out.
And 2 errors charged to the Giants.
Tenth error for Sandoval on the season, the first for Perez. But he just airmails this by Scuderos, by Crawford. Crawford's trying to pick it. There's no chance. I mean, that ball skips so far out in front. Torey Alba takes out, and you have the center fielder in Perez, and then he throws the ball wildly past Sandoval. So now when Torey Alba comes in, sees wide, it caught the elbow. Excuse me, the elbow of Torey Alba. So you see that. Maybe an error won't be applied. Maybe just one given. But that was an easy double play ball. And again, those are the kind of costly defensive mistakes that can come back and hurt you tremendously. And that's what the Rockies need to do now with Corey Dickerson, who doubled in his first at bat.
They did charge an error as well on Perez. You have to account for De La Rosa getting to second base. Giants with 58 errors now on the year.
Yeah, particularly in the infield on the left side. 18 with Crawford and Sandoval. That's quite a few.
Dickerson with the double down the right field line in the first inning.
Yeah, interesting to observe Torey Alba too. He knows how smart a player Scudero is. Quiros has a very good arm behind the plate, and he was saying to De La Rosa, pay attention, because we don't need a back pick here. You know, in other words, a pitch out and a throw down to get you at second base. Even though they're wide, they'll sneak in on you.
And they're in conversation. You could see the smile on De La Rosa's face. King gets ahead. Well, the other thing I like, George, I mean, De La Rosa's out there at second base after the play, and he is red hot at himself for the bad bunt.
Absolutely. Yeah, and again, that's where, you know, you had Sandoval charging. You have Posey, a catcher at first, but does play first a lot. But he did not deaden the ball very much.
Pop foul, and George and I both saw the same thing. Of course, Jorge's got a little bit of a bone bruise issue on his left thumb, and he was flexing that hand.
Yeah, I think you'll see it right here too when he gets into second base. He's going to stop, and then he's going to check that thumb again. I mean, it's bothering him, obviously. You can see him holding on to it. You hope it doesn't have effect of putting pressure with the thumb on the bottom of the baseball for pitching.
Wearing that little rubber donut to try and protect it when he's hitting. That little device there on the thumb. Ball hit to short, and now De La Rosa runs to third, and now Torrealba will be tagged out. In the midst of it, Dickerson got to second base.
Well, you would rather have the out at first than De La Rosa running around the base paths. He's got to come back out here and pitch. Ball hit very hard right at Scudero. And De La Rosa took off, obviously mental lapse, thinking maybe the ball hit to the right side that Torrealba was going to go. He gets in the rundown, and then he allows Dickerson, once he got to second, tag me.
Goes as a fielder's choice 4-2. Dickerson is at second. De La Rosa now at third with 2 outs. Mayhew's ball is playable for Perez, but Pence will cut in front of him and make the catch. Rockies can't cash in the 2 errors. It remains 1-0 Rockies. Root Sports is brought to you by the Ford F-150. It's not just a truck, it's an F-150, and it's built Ford tough. By Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By the Honey Smoked Fish Company. The secret's in the fire. It's ready to eat superfood. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Rockies with the lead will certainly keep an eye on that troublesome left thumb of Jorge De La Rosa. And let's hope it was just a momentary sting that you can get sometimes when you're hitting. George said the thumb is so important in delivering the baseball with command.
Rudder of the boat. Just think of it that way. You put that thumb in different areas to guide the movement of your pitches.
Be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Crawford, Kane, and Torres. Crawford, as we said, still with good numbers at 275, 5 homers and 28 runs batted in, but just 6 hits in his last 10 games. Earlier in the year, and we saw that in a couple of the games against the Rockies. I mean, this guy provided a lot of down in the order punch for the Giants.
Well, that's where I think he's one of those guys, Jack, that you as a pitcher have a tendency to forget about, because he is hitting 8. Is he a guy that's the 240 hitter? You know, no, he's a very good hitter with some power. Hey, when you want to, and it's tomorrow, so do it. Bike to the ballpark tomorrow, and you can win a whole lot of prizes. That's right. Tavis Strand's giving them out at the front gate 8. Get more information and ticket specials at Rockies.com/green. Tomorrow the Giants are in town. Bike to the ballpark. So do that at Rockies.com/green, or just call the Rockies for more information.
Another good play at second base by DJ LeMahieu. You know, almost to the point now, George, that we're just assuming DJ's going to make those plays.
The plays last night, I mean, I know that Chacin only gave up 3 hits, but there was 3 or 4 he made plays on that a lot of second basemen don't get to.
Especially the 1 inning to 4th with 2 men on. 1-1 to count on Matt Cain.
You have to give him a lot of respect. Cain can swing the bat, although struggling this year. In his career, 6 home runs and 26 RBIs in 485 at bats.
That changeup, so at least on that delivery anyway, no problem for De La Rosa. He has 3 strikeouts in the game already. Torrey held that glove there for a while, hoping they'd get the strike call, but just out of the zone. Johnny Herrera with the easy chance at short. 2 outs here in the Giants, top of the 3rd.
As you go back to 2007 and Jorge's career, you start to look at best starts. You start to see what it's done, this year being that. 8-4, 319 earned run average. In 2010, 7-4. 2008, 6-6, all high earned run averages till the last 3 years, and really taking command of his career, his starts. 2011, though, that covered through 10 starts, so obviously with the injury, but this year's been very good at 8-4, 319 ERA.
Andres Torres, the only guy with a hit for the Giants. He stole a base, got to 3rd with 1 out, but he was stranded there. Yeah, that 2011 season, George, that might have been real big for De La Rosa. He was so good at the start of that year.
He was 5-2 in earned run average in the low 3s, dominating with everything, and then of course the injury happened and it took a while to get back, but it's worth the wait. He's been special.
Well, you can't solve Andres Torres, and with his speed he'll think about 2, but Dickerson did a good job of getting the ball back in. So after retiring 8 in a row, base hit again by Andres Torres. We'd like to congratulate Danny Edwards from Lakewood, Colorado. Danny texted pick 3 to us at 720-720 during last night's game. He was randomly drawn as our lucky winner. Look for your chance to enter, and don't forget to play pick 3 from the Colorado Lottery with daily drawings. Marcos Scudero had a bunt his first time up to move the runner. He'll take a strike from De La Rosa. Lots of clouds overhead for the 2nd straight game. There are spotty chances for thunderstorms throughout the weekend.
Mercy me and Faith Day all right after the ball game today. So I hope that rain stays out of here.
Quickly, 2 strikes on Scutaro, and the wind wasn't blowing very much at all at the start, but well, the flags are whipping pretty well right now up on the big scoreboard in left field.
Coming through the open area in left field, blowing against this wall on the right side of the ballpark, so you get a swirling wind.
Scutaro, a terrific 2-strike hitter. De La Rosa trying to get him to end the 3rd. Rockies gained a game last night because the Diamondbacks lost in Atlanta, and they are going through a tough patch on the road. They have lost 5 of their last 6 on the road, and the one they won was an extra inning affair in Washington, and they're losing today in Atlanta.
Tim Hudson with the shutout, working 2-0.
2-2 now, the count on Scutaro. You'd like to get Marco because Buster Posey looms on deck. D-backs did get J.J. Putz, their closer, back off the DL. Been using Heath Bell in that role to mixed results. George, how often did you throw over to first base just to reboot the computer?
A lot. I mean, it's just something different to break it up. A guy fouling off a lot of pitches, not able to hit a corner, just step off, throw over to first. No look there at all. I hope this ball stays in the air long enough for Cuddyer, and it will.
So no damage done again in the 3rd. De La Rosa and the Rockies have the lead. Rockies have a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the 3rd, and it's time for our sideline report, brought to you by the Honey Smoked Fish Company. Secrets in the fire. It's a ready-to-eat superfood and always ready to go for us. Mark Stout.
All right, Jack. Harmon Killebrew would have been 77 today. It's the reason why Michael Cuddyer wears number 3 to honor one of the greatest home run hitters in the game.
I didn't know him as the killer, so to speak. I got to know him as a genuine person who treated everybody with respect, everybody the same, and wanted the best for everybody, and wanted everybody to have a nice signature too.
Cuddy laughs about that because he was in line once, and Harmon Killebrew said, "Whose signature is that? You got to get a better signature." So we did get a better signature. Cuddyer is here due up for the Rockies in this inning, but again, everybody remember that's why he's wearing number 3, guys.
That's exactly why Cuddy wears that in tribute to the Hall of Famer, and those of us who have had the privilege of meeting Harmon would certainly echo what Michael said. I mean, not only was he a great player, but as Michael said, I mean, he treated everybody with respect.
They did. That was around him when he was a TV analyst for the Twins, 86, 87, when we won the World Series. And happy for every single guy on that ball club every day that you played the game. It was just fun to be around. 840 home run seasons, folks. Think about that.
Michael Cuddyer extended his hitting streak, knocking in the game's run. That had plenty of distance. The other thing about Killebrew, we showed all those numbers, maybe not towards the end, but early in his career, he could pick it at third base.
Very good. Yeah, very good player, obviously.
Wind should push this out of Posey's reach.
Yeah, I think that earlier held the ball up, and again, I think this is one of those situations that, with the way this storm off to the west is pushing a lot of wind through the downtown area, you're not sure as an outfielder what's going to happen. Was it the west or the east, Sam? West, right? See, I allowed Sam to give me all the weather reports.
Yeah, all the directional information.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a strikeout for Kane, his second, and he uses a De La Rosa weapon, but as George said, something he's throwing much more, the changeup.
Very effective too with that changeup, and that's exactly what he threw here. That's what he was able to strike out Carlos Gonzalez with when you look at that first strikeout back in the first inning. Todd Helton had an extended at bat. Not this time. First pitch swinging and a line drive, one hopper to Sandoval. They'll get the out at first.
Matt Cain has a quick inning. Rockies have the lead. Back, Cooney Lexus, where luxury has a new address, now open in Greenwood Village. Michael Cuddyer extended his hitting streak with that base hit, and he knocked in Corey Dickerson. That's the game's only run. And Jorge De La Rosa has made it stand up so far. George has allowed 2 singles, both to Andres Torres, and has struck out 3. He'll get Buster Posey here to start the 4th for the Giants.
Posey with a 3-1, 3-2 changeup and a strikeout in his first at bat. A very good pitch by De La Rosa.
With the runner at third, a very good moment for that. And now Posey will jump on a first pitch and keep that streak going. He has reached base against the Rockies 46 consecutive games. Looked like that might have been the splitter again. Just didn't do anything.
Stayed up in the zone a little bit, and sometimes you can try to go and do a little bit stronger and throw a better pitch, and that's what happens to it. It'll stay up.
Second time in the ball game, the leadoff man on for the Giants. Hunter Pence popped up to Arenado to end the first inning. He is grounded into 7 double plays. Let's see if it'll be 8. LeMahieu's throw says no problem. Now, Georgie has not had a lot of ground ball outs in the game, but De La Rosa got one there when he needed it.
Yeah, he did, and that's the thing you're trying to do is get that ground ball out, get the double play ball. Make things simple. You got a manager as a middle infielder, put a smile on their face to watch guys in that middle infield work their magic.
Clears the bases for Sandoval, who popped up in short right field to the second baseman LeMahieu. Fighting the conditioning issue a little bit again is Sandoval. With the foot problem that he had, not that he was a guy that was going to be crazy about the bike or the treadmill or running period, but with the foot issue, even less conditioning.
Well, a couple of years ago, he lost an awful lot of weight, became much, I thought, a little more agile at third base. But I tell you what, when it comes to swinging the bat, he can clear his hands quick as anybody. And I mean, he can get after any pitch, inside or out.
This will drop foul.
And you look at him at home plate or in uniform and you think, well, not much range or doesn't run well. He does both. He can run well. For a guy his size, he runs very well. And a lot of coverage at third base. And what I like and always have liked about him, he loves to play the game of baseball. There is a true passion for the game.
I think the issue is the wear and tear on the joints.
Came up as a catcher through the minor league system. They basically made him a third baseman at the big league level.
This will hang up in the wind, and Cargo is there. Leadoff single, but no problem thanks to the double play. Rockies still on top. Rockies with the 1-0 lead. It has been 2 weeks now since Troy Tulowitzki fractured that 5th rib on his right side, and so this was a very pleasant sight to see today. Earlier in the morning. Troy starting back, taking ground balls, and looks like he's moving pretty well. The issue, of course, George, is going to be swinging the bat.
Yeah, that's going to be the difficult thing for him. Arenado pops it into foul territory. He was very upset with himself in his previous at bat. Flew out to center field with a couple of men on base.
Nolan with a very good month of June and piling up the extra base hits. Kane working much more efficiently as the game has progressed.
Controlling the tempo of the game. To me, that's what it looks like. He's on the mound and hitters are out of the box and they're standing on the rubber looking to get a sign, and you're trying to slow down part of that process with him and not allow him to set the pace, but let you set the pace.
Getting back to Tulo, George, I would think in terms of swinging the bat, and after another week or so, that rib should be knitting together enough that it really becomes the pain threshold.
It does, and I think the ability to, the whole time you're doing nice play by Sandoval. See what you're talking about. He'll turn around and do that and then throw the ball to the center on a bunt. You wonder about it. Nice play by Pablo at third. But it's a matter of, okay, what happens if he dives again? What happens if he stretches too far and separates the ball? I mean, that's why you want to make sure that he's 100% or close to it coming back. And to think about this club where it is right now without Tulowitzki. So if he gets healthy and you're right there at that July 31st trade deadline, and I've even extended it farther, it's like making the best trade in baseball. All of a sudden he's back in your lineup.
A soft liner grabbed by Crawford off the bat of Yorby Torrealba. Rockies, to what George was talking about with Tulo, I mean, between the games he has been rested and the games that he's been out here on the DL, they're at 500. They're really doing, when you look at it, just about the same numbers.
And that's a great thing. That's a tribute to everyone else, offensively and defensively.
Johnny Herrera filling in at shortstop today. 2 outs here in the fourth. Rockies got the run in the first inning when Corey Dickerson doubled, went to third on a sacrifice bunt, and Michael Kadire knocked him in with a single to extend his hitting streak. Full count, make it 3-1, excuse me, but Johnny Herrera trying to, if nothing else, flip the lineup so De La Rosa's not leading off in the 5th inning. But Perez will Denver. of play. Wells Fargo customers, you can get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC.
Well, De La Rosa coming into this inning is throwing 52 pitches. The most dominant has been the split. He's thrown it 10 times or 11 times, 10 of those for strikes. Fastball 17 for strikes. And the slider and curveball struggled a little bit with the strike zone, but it's been the split finger so far today for De La Rosa.
You'll get Perez, Quiros, and Crawford. Struck out 2 of those 3 guys. 3 punch outs on the afternoon. And gets Perez again to chase that changeup. Our Toyota Talk inning, and of course we'll be answering some questions here in a moment as Jorge gets ahead quickly. 2 strikes. Who is the Rockies mid-season MVP? Aberdeen and Buena Vista wants to know. I think I'd have to go with Michael Cuddyer.
Well, Cuddyer, but I mean, it's obviously a huge cast of characters for me. De La Rosa, Chacín with their wins of what they've done, the starting staff of what they've done, 29 wins, trying to get 30th today. That wouldn't happen a year ago. Gonzalez with what he's accomplished and left. I mean, it's a pretty good tandem right now.
And oh yes, the guy who's hurt, Tulowitzki, was having as good a season as he's had in the big leagues. So it's nice when it's a tough choice. Strikeout number 4. Now De La Rosa gets Quiros, the catcher, and we saw right there, and George, you can answer this one, the pause for De La Rosa when he works from the windup.
Well, it serves 2 purposes. He gets his balance point right over the top of the rubber right now as he gets over the top, and it allows his hand to get back into throwing position. A lot of times guys will make the turn, and as the leg drops, they ride their hands forward. So what you're trying to do, we're going to slow it up and stop it here in just a second. All right, stop it right here. See how well this is all balanced to the hip, what we call the hip cock, wherever the weights turn and rotate. Now, as you go forward, you want to break as the hands come down. And that's exactly what he does. As that leg starts to drop, the hands separate to get out in a throwing position. And he always had a little bit of tough time. He would ride those hands as the leg came forward, and then the arm would get out late and he'd be high in the strike zone. But that's why the pause is there.
And was that something he thought of on his own? Was that Jimmy Bob? It was Dak who put it in there.
He and Dak got along very well here, and Bob really helped him grow mentally as a player just as well physically. Bob's still in the organization working for the Rockies as their short season AAA, or I should say Grand Junction, Tri-Cities, and Asheville pitching coordinator. Doug Linton handles all the levels of the minor leagues, but predominantly sitting at Modesto, Tulsa, and Colorado Springs.
DJ likes to go down to one knee when the ball hugs the ground, and he takes care of another routine out for De La Rosa. Back to our Toyota Talk questions for you here with 2 outs in the 5th inning. And we can give you that answer, Corey, in Denver, because he's in the clubhouse and he's going to pitch tomorrow.
A really good job at the Sky Sox. 8-1, 420, has allowed 2 runs or less in these last 2 starts, leading the Pacific Coast League with 96 strikeouts. Nicasio will start tomorrow, I believe, for the Sky Sox. Last night, Jeff Francis went 5 2/3 for the rain hit and given up 3 hits and 2 runs. He pitched well there.
And
I was going to say Escalona came on in his first rehab appearance last night. It was 93-97, inning and a third, no damage. Came out of it clean, was in the locker room today, threw the ball well.
I was going to ask you if you had a chance to see Pomerantz in person at all down at the Springs.
I did not get to see him in person. What I have heard through a lot of scouts that don't work for the Rockies, because, you know, when you get reports from people within your organization at times, you know, obviously they want everybody to do well. But there have been scouts, numerous scouts, saying he has thrown the ball as best they've seen in a long time. Secondary stuff's really, really improved.
Corey Dickerson handles the chance in center, and halfway through this one, the Rockies still have the lead.
And we are back at Coors Field, bottom 5. Rockies still up 1-0. There's Renee Latchman, the first base coach. And Renee Latchman is going to join Rockies Weekly right after tomorrow's game. He'll fill in for Walt Weiss and do the coach's corner for us. And we'll also, of course, show you a lot about Fenway Park and the highlights from this series. Rockies Weekly right after the game coming up tomorrow, guys. Let's go back upstairs.
All right, Mark, thank you. Jorge De La Rosa will lead off for the Rockies with the 1-0 lead. Jorge trying to bunt. Hit it to third base. Sandoval threw it into center field. Jorge ended up at second base. Posey will handle this one himself at first to get De La Rosa.
Yeah, both of these pitchers have really settled into the ball game, made pitches when they needed to. Kane was 61 in the game, 41 strikes.
So Corey Dickerson there take a glance back. He wanted to make sure that De La Rosa had taken a seat in the dugout before he got close to digging into the batter's box.
Common courtesy is to give the starting pitcher, if he leads off an inning, has to run the bases, to come back, catch their breath, get a drink of water.
Dickerson led off the game with a double down the right field line and eventually scored the game's lone run to this point on the single by Kadire. So Corey has batted 13 times. He's had 4 hits. They've all been doubles. Sandoval is going to run out of room. The thing with Corey Dickerson, he had 32 doubles and triples for the Sky Sox.
Well, I did watch him for 5 games swing the bat. It's just been a lot of line drives, particularly in the gaps in opposite field. Line drives down the left field line. You pitched it, and he hit it where you pitched it an awful lot.
He was the Abby Greer Top Performer Award winner in spring training. His first time with the big league club. Here 3 months later, he's in the big leagues. George, one of the things so often gets talked about but bears repeating, you know, just really what Drew Pomerantz is doing with pitching tomorrow, like Dickerson did. You force them to bring you up.
Yeah, and that's exactly what both these players have done. They've performed to the point where you've got to say, all right, it's not just been 2 weeks, it's been 2.5 months.
Still 2 strikes on Corey. He was hitting .386, and granted, the Pacific Coast League is unbelievably hitter friendly, but when you have numbers like that, it's not just the parks.
You can't ignore it.
Battling Kane here to see if he can start something in the bottom of the 5th.
And he got a curveball earlier, slider, whatever it was, that hung in the middle of the plate when he drove it to right field for that double. Kane trying to avoid that, but it wouldn't surprise me to see him go back to the changeup here and try to get him to chase it. They're going curveball away outside part of the plate.
Scudero, so smooth, is able to get Dickerson for the 2nd out.
Well, one of the better places to go out and watch the ball game, the Camarena Loft, located in center field, is a great option for your group. Now, it's available up to 95 people, and you can see today a cast of characters out there having some fun, trying to enjoy the ball game from the Camarena Loft. So if you have that opportunity, make the phone call, 303 Rockies or Rockies.com.
Eleven straight have been set down by Kane now. LeMahieu 0 for 2. 0 for 1, excuse me, had the sacrifice bunt his first time up. Just 6 hits in the ball game for the 2 teams. And now Bob Davidson has called a couple of low strikes. One and 2, the count on LeMahieu. The Diamondbacks have scored a couple of runs in Atlanta. They were shut out last night. 2-2 the score now for the D-backs and Braves. 2-2 the count now on DJ LeMahieu.
The only time Kane has elevated the ball in the strike zone has been to try to get a chase swing out of it. He's really utilized that changeup, fastball to both sides of the plate. De La Rosa's thrown 17 split fingers, and out of those 17, 16 for strikes. That's been his most dominant pitch. Those guys getting a lot of ground ball outs.
And here's another one. Crawford to Posey, and that's a dozen in order for Matt Kane. We head to the 6th, 1-0 Rockies. Root Sports is brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local Dodge dealer today. By 5-Hour Energy Shots. And by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. Sunny out west, a little overcast here at the ballpark. A few patches of blue trying to fight through. Matt Cain will lead it off for the Giants. Rounded out to short in his only at bat. De La Rosa has 4 strikeouts and 6 ground ball outs. One and one on Cain. You'll have Torres and Scudero after that. Gotta love a summer afternoon and a little purple popsicle.
Yeah, how long is that popsicle? Uh-oh, she's got a little purple drink down at the bottom too, doesn't she? Had a little melt going on here, about a 1.5 to 2 foot.
Now back in Ohio we called those icicles. What'd they call those in Missouri?
We froze them. Did you do that? Get a plastic bag, freeze them, throw them in there, put a little Kool-Aid in it, put it in the freezer? My grandkids, every time they walk in the house, they want to know if I got those made for them. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
No. Replay. I want a replay. Give me a replay of that, please. Watch. Here's the replay. But watch the expression on her face. It's worth millions. Watch this. Oh, watch. Really? Did I just do that? Did I really just do that? Oh. Go buy another one, Dad. Please. Give him the lip. He'll do it.
2-2 pitch. Right back to De La Rosa in the hip pocket and over to Todd Helton. I want to thank all of you for texting in your questions today to Toyota Talk. For more answers to your questions, visit the Root Sports Facebook page at facebook.com/RootSportsRM. That's where Hall of Famer Tracy Ringlesby will answer a bonus Toyota Talk question before the end of the game. Good questions today.
Yeah, a lot of good baseball fans here want to know the information and what's going on.
Andres Torres has been a problem for De La Rosa. 2 singles out of the leadoff spot. Good action on that pitch. Another changeup from Jorge. And the interesting thing is that Torres came in 2 for 15 in his career against De La Rosa.
So today's luck, is that what we're going to say? A little
I
more
don't
luck
know.
than luck, huh?
It's 3 for 3.
Let's take a look at our minor league system right now. We do this from time to time, the Fraser Farm Report, but I'd like to bring it up, talk about some of the players down there. Kent Mathis joined the Sky Sox from Tulsa, where he was a Texas League All-Star. First 4 games, 4 home runs. Pretty good, huh? Chad Bettis due to return the next 10 days, maybe 14 at the most, has been throwing some simulated ball games. Eddie Butler will represent the Rockies at the Futures game. It started in Asheville, moved to the California League. And how about Tom Murphy? Just go ahead and have a great first half, buddy. 330, 17 home runs and 65 RBIs, a catcher. So there's some good movement. A lot more players still performing very well down there. We'll bring that in our next report to you, but thought I'd give you an update on some of the players so far.
Yeah, Rosell Herrera at Asheville having a terrific year, young infielder. Now they've got Torres hung up, throw down to second, and he tried to do the decoy slide, and he is a dead duck at second.
De La Rosa has a tendency when he lifts that front leg and his weight starts to distribute towards the plate, he doesn't go to first base. He went first base here. Torres was going on first movement, tried to slide early, and then skip under the tag of Johnny Herrera. Good job staying on it. Torrealba liking it, looking back at the dugout, knowing things were going in the direction they were.
And you get Scudero now at the plate with 2 outs and the base is empty. Marco has had a sacrifice bunt and a shallow fly ball to right field. Long throw for Herrera, and Scutaro beats it. The big bounce took it away from Arenado, who probably had the better shot at it. He just couldn't get to it.
Yeah, and disappointed too. You can see him with just not a very happy look on the face here, but you're right, high hop, and he has to hold up on it. Then that long throw, an off balance throw, and then Scutaro just going to outrun it. Yeah, that high hop took it right away from Nolan Arenado. Tremendous range and arm, probably has a better shot at it because the high hop doesn't come up with it. Not a chance to get it.
Keeps the inning alive for Buster Posey, who singled his last time up. Posey has really tried to carry this Giants offense. He has gone 9 for 16 on the trip. And of course, he's about a .350 hitter lifetime in Denver. Came in 6th in the league in hitting at .321, and it's up to .322 now. And you see the hit last time up made him 6 for 18 against De La Rosa. De La Rosa gets ahead, a ball and 2 strikes. Used to be Jorge liked to wear that black sleeveless top when he pitched, but this year he's primarily chosen to go with the traditional pinstripe uniform. And if you're 8-4, why not? Scutaro thought about going, but didn't get the break he wanted right away, and he's mad down there at first base.
1-run ball game. You particularly in this situation with Buster Posey up, that if you could get a runner to second base in the scoring position, pretty good chance things are going to happen. You can see here, watch him kind of snap the hands together. Just wasn't anticipating it.
2-2 the count on Posey. And again, they tried to go with that changeup that they struck him out on in the first inning, and he didn't chase it. Only Yasiel Puig has a better average this month in the National League. See Michael Cuddyer in the number 4 spot. We saw Anthony Rendon in the series in DC as well as the one here. That's a good looking youngster.
Very good player.
Carlos Quentin has been leading the way for the Padres. The pitch is hit pretty well to left center field. It's going to get to the wall, and it's going to tie up the ball game. Buster Posey, it's now reaching into the unbelievable area in terms of his success against Colorado.
One-man wrecking crew, basically. My goodness. It's the background. Is it the pitches? What is it? Mike Shaw Subaru Super Mo. You see this pitch? That's an elevated changeup. Such an intelligent hitter. Difficult to go back to the well so many times unless it's placed perfectly. Comes up with a big double and an RBI. It's his 47th of the year.
And his work against the Rockies and here at Coors Field.
And you got to be really careful here with that runner in scoring position and pins up that you don't lose control of the game.
It's the 9th RBI for Posey this year against the Rockies. .36 in his career and a batting average above .410. Giants with the big swing. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, he gave up the bloop hit with 1 out and then got Torres on the caught stealing. But Scudero got the big hop infield hit. And Posey able to cash it in. De La Rosa thought he had a strike there, but too far inside. 2-1.
Off the plate and on the right-handed hitter, on the right-handed hitter, Hunter Pence, versus getting the call from Bob Davidson. It goes against the Rockies. Hard to see why he would take that pitch, too, with the open stance. Normally, he's pretty quick to the inner half.
And now 3-1.
Well, maybe it's just me, but it seems like the Giants have started to take the Swit finger. And so now the count flips. You're not chasing after that like you were early in ball games. So third time through, trying to watch the pattern, study the pattern. Hensley Mulin's their hitting coach, and of course Ron Wotus, Bruce Bochy, all very good observers during a game for patterns.
Full count now on Pence. Torrealba out to the mound. It seems, and again, whether it was the bruised thumb that first started to bother him in Toronto, and we saw the bunt try affected it a little bit, but for all of the good work for De La Rosa of late, that slider, which has been a very good pitch for him, has been the inconsistent one.
It's disappeared, and a lot of times it's the grip, the follow through, the action of the arm collapsing to the inside.
Boy, and he laid off it again. I mean, Hunter Pence, a guy who is as aggressive of a hitter as you could expect, and they didn't think there'd be any way on that fastball in that he wouldn't swing at it.
Now, he thought he might have it. We're going to look on the overhead. How much of the plate did it catch? Yeah, it really did. It was a good call by Bob Davidson, almost 3 to 4 inches. It squared up the center of the body of Torrealba, but did not get the strike zone. Jim Wright does a very good job managing this staff in the respect of when he starts to feel emotionally they're leaving the ball game, that's when he centers them back in again. Stuff wise, it's something they do very well.
2 on now for Sandoval. Giants have tied the game here in the 6th, but that will end the inning. Sandoval on the comebacker to end the frame, but Buster Posey has knocked in both Giants runs in this series.
And we are tied at 1 at Coors Field. AT&T Trivia time. It was here at Coors Field in 2005 on this day when Byung-Hyun Kim hit Craig Biggio with a pitch. Biggio passed Don Baylor for the most hit by pitches from post 1900 on, so he set the record. Here's our question. Think about the Rockies. There are 5 Rockies that have been hit by a pitch 40 or more times in their career while playing for Colorado. Think about those 5. We'll get you those 5 coming up. That's our question, guys.
All right. Well, the Rockies are trying to not, well, they take, I guess, being hit by a pitch. They just want to make some better contact right now. They are tied in the game. They've been out hit 6-3. They haven't had a hit since the leadoff single in the 2nd inning by Torey Alba.
And not any balls hit hard, particularly, Jack. They've been able to, throw the changeup, work ahead in some counts.
A lot of ground ball outs or routine flyouts. Cargo 0 for 2. As bright as we've had it here at the ballpark as the sun starts to fight through the cloud cover. Good changeup again by Matt Cain. So kind of the evolution of Matt Cain. I mean, he was a guy harder, hardest in his early days.
Power guy. It's all looked at it 94 to 97 miles an hour. Occasional cutter, slight slider, but not really anything that as far as being able to pitch. And I know Mike Krukow, I respect a lot on my counterpart with the San Francisco, was raved about how Cain has become a pitcher, not a thrower anymore.
There's Kruk and Dwayne Kuiper. Of course, Kuiper worked for the Rockies 1 year. This will get back into the seats. Yeah, those two guys know a lot of baseball. They're always fun people to talk to. One of the nice things about the extended schedules within the division, you get to interact with
it's pretty
the
good
other
people.
Broadcasters up in this division without question. Got Cargo for the 2nd time, this time with a high fastball.
I want to remind fans that it's not too late to go out and vote and help send your Rocky to New York for the upcoming All-Star game. You can vote 35 times on Rockies.com or on your mobile phone. So hurry, voting ends July 4th at 9:59 p.m. Mountain Time. Cargo's very close, and of course Kadire right now at about 14th on the charts of voting. So pay attention, folks. This guy's having a heck of a first half. Deserves to be on that ball club. You see where he ranks among the outfield. 1st in batting average, 2nd slugging, 6th in home runs, 1st in game streak, hitting streaks. He belongs to be there. Well, a pick and look at what I found. They'll get Kadire.
This is Matt Cain in real control.
He's a lot like De La Rosa. You let him settle into games, and typically you're going to be in a nail biter, and that's what you got here in the bottom of the 6th. 2 outs, helping up in a 1-1 game.
Todd Helton has walked. That's the only walk he's allowed. He grounded to 3rd his last time up. 9 ground ball outs for Matt Cain. Good gap in right center field. They don't expect Todd to hit the ball there. They've got the center fielder Perez shaded several steps to the left side of second. You can see out there. Todd's made a career out of taking the ball to left center field. I don't think he agreed with that call.
And I can see why on the 4th strike zone off the plate and elevated. You look at home, let you make that decision. Of course, the best look in all of that corner stuff is the overhead shot.
This is hit to left center field, but an easy chance for the left fielder Torres, and Payne keeps rolling. A 1-1 pitcher's duel here at Coors Field.
Seventh inning at Coors Field, Rockies and the Giants. Give you a half inning to think about the AT&T trivia question. It has to do with getting hit by a pitch. And I wanted to know the 5 Rockies that have been hit by a pitch 40 or more times. Larry Walker is at the top with 98. Then it's Andres Galarraga with 61. Todd Helton 57. And a couple at the rear within the 40 number. You got Matt Holliday at 46 and Chris Iannetta at 41, and that's all because on this day here at Coors Field, Craig Biggio was hit by a pitch and set the modern day record. Of course, guys, Larry Walker, bobblehead day tomorrow.
And it looks like the thumb of De La Rosa being examined by Keith Duggar, the Rockies head trainer. We mentioned that De La Rosa, you can see Torrealba is saying,
No, you got to be smart about it. I know you don't want to leave this start, but be smart. Exactly what's going to happen here.
Well, you have an off day on Monday, so that buys you an extra day to help with that bruise. De La Rosa, the competitor that he is, didn't want to leave the ball game, but the issue was decided for him. Pitching change for the Rockies. We'll be back here in the 7th in a moment. One game as the Rockies have to pull Jorge De La Rosa out before he throws a pitch in the 7th inning, leaving with that bruised left thumb. It'll be Wilton Lopez coming on, but register now for your chance to win tickets to Jason Aldean with special guest Jake Owen. He'll be appearing July 26th at Cheyenne Frontier Days. You'll also be entered to win baseball packages plus the VIP grand prize. For official rules and to enter, visit cfdrodeo.com/Jason Aldean.
What a great time up there last year for all of that. Really enjoyed it. Wilton Lopez will come on now for Jorge De La Rosa, who was just outstanding in this ball game. Jorge, 6 innings, 6 hits, a run, only 1 walk in the ball game, 4 strikeouts. We'll see Lopez now, 405 earned run average, and 40 innings so far this year, 1-3 record.
Pitched a couple of scoreless innings in his last appearance in Boston against the Red Sox.
A pinch hitter in the ball game now. Gregor Blanco will come on and pinch hit for Perez.
Perez struck out twice against De La Rosa. Blanco has been a pretty good fill-in for Angel Pagan, but they certainly miss him. Blanco was platooning at left field with Torres. He's going to get a ground ball out. Wilton Lopez, and that's a good start. I think a lot of times, George, and you know this so well as a guy out of the bullpen, you're just going to focus on one hitter at a time, but it just seems like when you get that first guy, it's a much different mental frame for that pitcher.
Well, particularly this part of the ball game, you're into the top of the 7th inning, so you kind of that last 3 trying to shut things down. You see the career numbers against the Giants, a 1.10 ERA over 15 games.
Broken bat. This will drop in front of Kadire, and so Quiros will get hit number 7 for the Giants. Barrel of the bat went flying.
Trying to see this pitch coming out of the hands, trying to throw that hard sinker, born in. This got right below the label of the bat, left part in the hand, part off the screen.
Brandon Crawford now. For the moment anyway, Kane still in the on deck circle. Walt Weiss coming to the mound, and he's going to go with Josh Outman.
Yep. He's going to piece this together. These last couple of innings, he had Outman up going in a hurry. He's going to shut this thing down as quick as he can. He's not going to allow anybody to face anything. Left, right situation at all. Lopez, 1/3 of an inning. He'll be out.
Lopez departs. Outman comes on. Tie game in the 7th. stick around for Rockies Weekly. This week we'll take you to Boston to hear the players' thoughts on Fenway Park. Go road tripping with Tracy Ringlesby and sit down with Rockies first base coach Renee Latchman. Don't miss Rockies Weekly tomorrow after the ball game. Well, knowing that Bruce Bochy's not going to lift Brandon Crawford, the Rockies send in their lefty Josh Outman.
Well, lefty-lefty matchup here, and Outman, 1 for 6. He's won this battle with Crawford in their careers. You can see left-handers hitting just 200 against him. Very good slider that Outman has, and though the ability to throw it for strikes early in counts. He misses here with it in the dirt.
Alba got a speck of dirt came up and caught him in the eye. Still trying to get it squared away, and Bob Davidson giving him a moment. Torrey says he's okay. Quiros, the runner at first, has not attempted a stolen base.
It didn't show a lot of speed on the ball, hit the right.
1-1 to count. That slider a good one. Giants tied the game last inning on a 2-out RBI double by Buster Posey. Crawford sends it to left field. A lazy fly ball for Gonzalez. 2 down. You have auto glass damage? We'll call Safelite Auto Glass, America's vehicle glass experts. Their number 303-287-5000, or go to safelite.com. Yorvik getting a little more work on that left eye as Keith Duggar a few eye drops to flush it out, and Torrey's okay now. And in a tie ball game, Matt Cain's going to stay in. As George mentioned, in his career, he's had some big hits.
And he'll work deep into games. I think Bochy just says, you know, this is kind of the unsung guy that's our #1 pitcher. And I'm going to go ahead and let him hit here and let him go out for the 7th inning. See how it transpires from there.
It's 2-0 now. Well, the other thing too, George, the bullpen with some injuries and a lot of work over the last couple of years, not quite as effective as it's been.
No, that's Affeldt, Lopez, and Romo are your plus side guys. So if you're going to tie or up 1 run, that's the guys you're going to see come out of their bullpen. No. Josh behind 3-0, not what you want to do with Matt Cain. They do have Matt Belisle warming up down in the bullpen for the Rockies. Runners on first and second, 2 outs and a 3-0 count. You have Torres coming up, who has 3 of the 7 hits for the Giants today. There's Belisle getting loose.
Taking all the way, and Cain might even take another pitch. We'll see. Josh Outman, second Rockies, actually 3rd pitcher of the inning, because De La Rosa warmed up. Full count now. The 3-2 is high, ball 4. Missed with a fastball. Torres on the year has been much better as a right-handed hitter, and is 3 for 3 today from the right side. If they were to bring in Matt Belisle, and that's what's going to happen, they really don't have any strong options other than perhaps Brandon Belt, and then you'd be shuffling around a little bit more. But in a game the Rockies are going to do everything they can. Walt Weiss goes to his bullpen a third time in the inning. Josh Outman got an out. Wilton Lopez got an out. Matt Belisle wants to get the third one. One and two out here in the top of the seventh, and Matt Belisle, the third reliever of the inning, trying to get that final out. He took the loss on Thursday. And Matt, such a stand-up guy, said, I just poorly located a fastball and Marlon Byrd got it.
And when you get in a rut like this as a bullpen guy, the only way you get out of it when you've been good is to go throw. Sitting in a bullpen's not going to cure the problem.
He gets a first pitch strike into Torres, who hits now from the left side. On the year, a .214 hitter as a lefty and well over .300 as a right-handed hitter. 2 on and 2 out. Wilton Lopez got the first out. Then Quiros had a broken bat single. Outman came on, got the second out, but then walked Matt Cain. Belisle's 1-1 is hit back to Matt. Sets his feet and guns it to first and got him. That's what the Rockies needed from the big Texan. He puts down the threat. Stretch time here at Coors Field. The Rockies and Giants tied at 1. so far brought to you by McDonald's. The Rockies got their run in the first inning. Michael Kadire extending his hitting streak to 26, scoring Corey Dickerson, who had led off the game with a double. And then the Giants sent their Rockies killer, Buster Posey, and he doubled in the tying run. In the top of the 7th inning, Jorge De La Rosa dealing with a bruise on his left pitching thumb, and the Rockies decided better to be cautious, and they took De La Rosa out of the game. A trio of relievers were able to get the outs in the 7th. Those game highlights brought to you by McDonald's. Nolan Arenado leading it off against Matt Cain. Arenado 0 for 2 in the ball game. Rockies have not had a hit since the 2nd inning. And this will be another ground ball chance. Brandon Crawford. Cain has had 10 ground ball outs. And George and I have been talking about the Rockies have not even squared up a ball against Cain really since the Kadire single. Well, Torrealba's single was pretty well hit.
16 of 24 pitches for strikes, first pitch strikes. That's huge. 0 hits, as you mentioned, Jack, since a leadoff in the 2nd, but 30 pitches in that first inning. Since then, he's only got 56 gone since. I mean, it's been pretty impressive what he's been able to accomplish.
Yorvi Torrealba, the last guy to get a hit. Had a soft line drive to short his last time up. .88 pitches thrown by Matt Cain. 2 balls and no strikes on Torrealba. The Rockies get Rex Brothers up in case the pitcher's spot would bat in this inning. You got John Herrera on deck. 2-2 now on Torrealba. Make that 2-1. I apologize. Got ahead of myself there. Now 3-1.
A lot of fastballs thrown too, ranging from 87 to 93 miles an hour. Different types of break, a sink, a cut, and a 4-seam straight fastball from Matt Cain.
Pop up right in front of the mound, and Posey took charge to make the catch.
Boy, did he take charge of this thing.
Matt Cain again, in the absence of outfield putouts, the Rockies have had 2 balls in the outfield since the 2nd inning. Herrera had one of those flied out to center field in the 4th inning.
Hey, make sure you get to the ballpark early tomorrow. If you're one of the first 20,000 fans, guess who's in town? Larry Walker and the bobblehead of Larry Walker, all courtesy of Coca-Cola. Get tickets for that ball game tomorrow versus the Giants. All that brought to you by Coca-Cola.
One and one the count on Herrera. Tyler Colvin's in the on deck circle. He would pinch hit if Herrera keeps the game, this 7th inning going.
Now, matchup wise today, Fowler, is null and void there. Can't do a whole lot with it. And the downside to that is, Jack, if Tuesday shows up and he can't play on Tuesday, you don't want to pinch run or do something with him today, because retroactively you lose him for much longer. It goes back on the disabled list at that point. So Colvin's a left-hander off the bench. Pacheco, Rutledge, and Rosario the others from the right side. So when you see Lopez and Affeldt warming up, that's when you may see some of those guys coming off that bench to swing the bat. They're not up yet.
Strike 3 called. Matt Cain gets his 4th strikeout and another 1, 2, 3 inning, 5 in a row. Tied at 1 heading into the 8th inning, and what's next? Well, it's brought to you by CenturyLink. Madison Bumgarner on the hill for the Giants, and Drew Pomeranz makes his 2013 Rockies debut after 3 very good months at AAA. Start our coverage at 1:30 tomorrow here on Root Sports, and Matt Belisle, who got the final out of the 7th, gets strike 1 into Marco Scutaro, who singled and scored the Giants run on an infield hit and then scored on the Posey double back in the 6th inning. Lots of room for Cuddyer. In fair ground, Michael puts it away.
And we've talked about this an awful lot, but late in ball games like this, so important to get that first out, because it just shuts down what Bruce Bochy can do. The hit and run, the bunt, the steal, all that stuff comes into play late in ball games as you work into the 8th inning. And Bochy, a master at running a ball game at the back end of it. 7, 8, and 9, getting matchups, putting on offensive plays.
Well, and against the Rockies, his best matchup is to put this guy at the plate, Buster Posey.
And you know what? A very true statement. Hitting near 500, been on base, whatever it is, 46, 47 straight times. Not only that, but an MVP. So it's a pretty good choice of running him up there against everybody, huh?
Yeah, I'm sure he has some good numbers against other clubs as well. And Belisle gets the call on the slider there to get ahead 2 strikes.
Wow. Couldn't have walked it in, placed it any better. That's just a testament to the type of hitter Posey is. I mean, you look at that pitch right on the corner. All 3 have been right on that outside area. It is off the plate, but man, to have that type of eye.
Out of play, count stays at 1-2. You know, a Florida State Seminole, and everybody knew the intelligence, the gamesmanship, if you will, for Posey, even in college.
Well, and a guy that you knew you wanted up at the plate when the game was on the line. I want to talk a minute just about Matt Belisle and the struggles that he's had of late here in June. You know, the greatest hitters in the games fail 70% of the time and hit 300. The guys that come out of the bullpen that are successful 7 out of 10 games, they're to the elite group in baseball when they're able to come out and be that successful. And Belisle basically at about 67, 68%, so he's near that elite group of guys. Just hit one of those ruts right now coming out of the bullpen, but turned around with a big out there in the 7th, trying to get the second one here in the 8th. Ring him up.
He fooled Bob Davidson too.
Slow curveball, which you don't see often from Belisle, definitely caught the top of the strike zone. They just locked all of them up, including Buster Posey. He even kind of turned the shoulder into it.
He'll line it to Herrera. So for those of you who believe in those things, justice is served.
Justice is served, but I mean, an out's an out. I don't care how hard he hit it. He's making a left turn.
Two outs in the Giants' 8th. The Rockies will have the pitcher's spot, and then the top of the order. It's still quiet on the Giants side. They'll stay with Kane and 97 pitches at the moment.
Posey 4 for 8 with a home run against Belisle, so you'll take the line drive out any way you can. Hunter Pence in his career 5 for 17. He's seen Belisle a lot. Of course, that stems from the Cincinnati Houston days of playing in the Central against each other.
Matt, as we said last inning, he is such a stand-up guy, and George is right. I mean, nobody walks the tougher tightrope in baseball than back end of the bullpen guys.
Oh, there's no question. The last 3 outs and sometimes 6 outs are the toughest in baseball to go get. Rex Brothers up down in the Rockies bullpen now. Sandoval, a switch hitter in the on-deck circle. Great pitch. Slider away. at 84 miles an hour. Belial with a 1-2-3 inning after retiring in the 7th. That'll boost your confidence not only in you, but also your team and your manager.
Torrealba talking with Matt Belial after Matt was terrific, getting the last out of the 7th in a 1-2-3 8th inning. Rockies will try and break this 1-all tie now, and maybe they can score 6 runs, because who wants tacos? Fans, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more runs for the Rockies Taco Special, text keyword taco to 720-720. Message and data rates may apply, and when the Rockies score 7 or more runs, Taco Bell and Root Sports together will donate $250 to the Colorado I Have a Dream Foundation. Ball 1 to the pinch hitter Tyler Colvin. Tyler, with a couple of hits in last night's game, will hit this into center field, but it'll carry out to Blanco for the out. And at left home plate, looked like it was going to sink, but it stayed up.
Yeah, he did a little bit too much underneath the baseball when he hit it to center field. Matt Cain has to, man, oh man, it's been a while. Thinking that go all the way back to the 2nd inning.
18 in a row he is set down. And of course, this is a guy who's thrown a perfect game. Corey Dickerson led off the game with a double. That's the Rockies' only extra base hit. Since then, has hit into a fielder's choice and grounded out. Giants have out hit the Rockies 7-3, but we're tied at 1 here in the 8th. Oh, good breaking ball on pitch number 101.
Something he's been able to do is the curveball away, and then that was for a called strike, and it appears on the 4th strike zone to be off the plate a little bit. But now if he comes back to the curveball, it'll be one on the ground. That's what he did with Dickerson in his last at bat. In the 5th, he got a ground ball, but he took it and sank it on the out. Ooh, went back, got a little extra there, didn't he? 92, one of the hardest balls thrown since the 3rd.
Rafael Betancourt up in the Rockies bullpen. He'll work the 9th. And he went back with that high fastball and got Dickerson to chase it. That is his 5th strikeout.
I want to talk a little bit to you about coming out and lock in this summer with some games on the summer 6-pack. Pick any one of the games, including fireworks and the Red Sox, and you got to pick quick on those fireworks, and get up to 40% off the ticket price for those ball games. So do that now. 303 Rockies, Rockies.com/specials. And when you do that on the internet, you'll see an awful lot of specials. Pick one, take advantage of it.
DJ LeMahieu 0 for 2 with a sacrifice on the day. And Matt Cain, I have him for 21 first pitch strikes to 29 hitters.
That's good. Way above. That's 75, 70%.
Yeah.
That's really good. Working ahead that many times. Another ground ball right at second base.
20 in a row. He has retired and will head to the ninth. Tied at 1 here at Coors Field. .com, by the Colorado Lottery. Don't forget to play. And by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram. Let's send it out to Jenny Kapnar for a Toyota postgame preview. Jenny.
Thanks, Jack. Well, besides the fact we need to talk about the Rockies having more than one run right now, we have plenty of things for you to look out for coming up on the Toyota postgame show right after Rockies baseball. It'll start with he takes what he wants. We keep talking about the Gutty Badger because he don't care. He just keeps hitting and hitting and hitting. That hit streak, it's now at 26. We'll also talk about the bug bites again. We're talking about Jorge De La Rosa. Went out for the 7th. Wasn't able to return. So we will, of course, have an injury update for you in the Toyota post-game show. And we'll get thoughts from the players and Walt Weiss. It's all coming up right after the game. Let's score a run and get this done. What do you guys say?
That sounds like a real good plan, Jenny. Thank you very much. And don't forget, Toyota Talk continues during the entire post-game show. So keep texting in your comments. There you see Rafael Betancourt coming on out of the Rockies bullpen for the first time since he went on the disabled list. See the numbers on the year. Dealt with a groin injury, something that back in the 09 season he had surgery, and said he has fought it on and off for a while and tried to work through it this year. Finally got to the point where it was time to go on the DL, and Rafi says he really feels great. Now it's a question of being able to deal with the 9th inning and a Giants team that's out-hit the Rockies 7-3 in a 1-1 game. Tyler Colvin stays in the game in center field. So he'll be still in that number 9 spot, and you take Corey Dickerson out of the game and put Betancourt in the number 1 spot. Switch hitting Pablo Sandoval rolls the first pitch to second. And just what Rafi wanted, the chance to settle in, and he gets an out.
Well, and two, when you're a veteran guy like this, you're thinking at home, wait a minute, he hasn't thrown since May, and it's a 1-1 ball game within the pennant of our division, and you're playing against the Giants, but he's a veteran guy that can handle the situation. Obviously, you know, a lot of times with a younger closer, you might ease him back into it versus throwing him out there. But this guy, a veteran, able to handle all of that.
Gregor Blanco now came on as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning and grounded to second. He hits from the left side, and Betancourt delivers a strike. De La Rosa gave up the run in the 6th inning, the only run he allowed in 6 innings of work. Outman, Lopez, Outman, Belisle, and now Betancourt. A good off-speed pitch, 0-2.
Simulated game is what gets you ready for it if you can face really good hitters. Contact guys. And a good curveball here for a swing and miss. Betancourt was able to do that.
Getting some activity going now for the Giants and their bullpen.
Jeremy Affeldt, the left-hander.
Cargo's going to lead off. 1-2 now on Blanco.
Gonzalez 2 for 14 against Affeldt in his career. Sapochi playing the numbers in the matchup.
And you'd have Todd Helton as the 3rd hitter of the bottom of the 9th.
Kadire in his career 250, 1 for 4. Helton against Affeldt 3 for 10.
A 1-2. Didn't get that curveball. 2-2. Long look by Betancourt. Strike 3 called, and a dandy after a series of curveballs. Locked out Blanco with a heater.
They extend that 0 for 3 now against Betancourt. 2 of those strikeouts, and this is just Rembrandted right on the outside corner. Painted, in other words. Right on that outside corner. It did catch the corner, and Bob Davidson rewarded him with a strikeout.
So Rafi retires the first 2. Now he gets the catcher, Guillermo Quiros. He singled in the 7th inning. Got to second, but was stranded there by Matt Belisle. Have auto glass damage? Well, call Safelite Auto Glass, America's vehicle glass experts. 303-287-5000, or you can contact them online at safelite.com.
You got 2 lefties going now. Lopez, the other left-hander, and he has terrific numbers with Gonzalez. Another fastball down and away right on that outside corner. Lopez, when facing Gonzalez in his career, he went 3 for 17, but one of those have left the yard.
Betancourt has gotten 2 quick strikes on Quiros. Quite a battle throughout the afternoon. The Rockies and the Giants. Betancourt trying to keep it deadlocked. 1-2. Speaking of deadlock, they're that way in Atlanta. Every time the Braves score, Arizona counters. The first place Diamondbacks have evened that game up at 4 apiece in the 7th inning at Turner Field. A 1-2. Padres will play a little bit later on in Florida, and then later in the evening the Dodgers will host the Phillies again. Giants, second time this year they've dropped 5 straight. The Rockies trying to pin number 6 on them. Quiros battling here with Betancourt. Playable for Herrera. Johnny over to Helton. And a good return for Rafael Betancourt. A 1-2-3 frame. Gonzalez, Kadire, and Helton will come to the dish in the bottom of the ninth. Rockies looking to beat the Giants. We're tied at 1. Heading into the bottom of the ninth, and it's time now for the Coors Light Freeze Can. And we'll go back to the first inning when Michael Kadire extended his hitting streak to 26 and plated Corey Dickerson with the Rockies run. And for Michael, that's now 45 games in a row in which he has gotten on base. The Giants will make a pitching change here in the bottom of the ninth. They'll go to the veteran left-hander Jeremy Affeldt.
Affeldt on the season, you see the 1-3 record. He has 10 holes though, and he's pitched well when coming into games. 30th appearance, 26 2/3, just 22 hits. He's only given up 2 home runs. Walked 17, has not thrown a wild pitch. You always check that. The opposition's hit just 227. He'll get Gonzalez. We discussed this a minute ago. 2 for 14 in his career versus Affeldt. Kadire 1 for 4. Helton 3 for 10.
Hector Sanchez comes in to catch. Put him in the number 9 spot in the order. He would bat second if there's a 10th inning. And the pitcher Affeldt in the 7 hole vacated by Guillermo Quiros. Cargo went 0 for 3 against Matt Cain, who retired the final 20 Rockies in order. He shows bunt, took the pitch, and it's called a strike.
Affeldt has always possessed very good fastball, slider, and I know when he was with Kansas City there was a lot of comparisons made with what they thought he could be someday. They thought a 15 to 20 game winner. The last 5 or 6 years his niche has been right here in the bullpen, and it's been pretty good.
Crawford was shaded up the middle, and so he's able to throw out Cargo. That's a dozen times the Rockies have grounded out in this game. Michael Kadire, the RBI single way back in the first inning. The Rockies' last hit was Yorby Torrealba leading off the second. Matt Cain was terrific, just like Jorge De La Rosa, run on 3 hits. Kadire will hit it to right field, but coming on is Pence, and that's the second out.
Got 2 hard hit balls, both right at people, Kadire and Pence. Gonzalez at the shortstop. I mentioned Helton 3 for 10 against Jeremy Affeldt.
Todd, one of the 4 Rockies base runners on the day. He walked after the Cuddyer RBI single in the first inning. Since then has grounded to third and flied to left. Ball 1. Rex Brothers up. He'd work the 10th. Outfield deep, pulled way around the other way. Breaking ball. 2-0.
I would say Brothers probably on. Most closers only work an inning, even though Betancourt didn't throw very many pitches in the ninth. So, I mean, 11 pitches thrown by Betancourt, I think, in the ninth inning. So if that's the case, he might be extended for one more, but doubtful. Rex looks like he's getting ready to come on.
Down the left field line, but foul. Two and one on Todd. Rockies have had 6 walk-off wins here this year.
Good day to make 7.
Yep. 3-1 on Helton. And the right-handed hitting Nolan Arenado next. High ball 4. So Todd doing what he's done more than 1,300 times in his career. That's the potential winning run. Nolan Arenado will come to the dish, and Josh Rutledge is going to come on and run for Helton. Two walks in the game by Giants pitching, and they've both been drawn by Todd, as Rutledge, a good base runner, 5 for 5 in steals, but tough with the lefty Affeldt to even think about that.
Very good move to first base too, Affeldt has. So you got to be pretty careful with it. He'll lull you to sleep and then put a snap throw in. Sanchez on the year has yet to throw out a base steal. They are 9 for 9 against him.
High for ball 1. That's been an issue for the Giants. They have allowed 56 stolen bases and have caught only 15 men.
Quiros has thrown out 40%. A lot of the damage against Posey and Sanchez, obviously, but more Posey.
Hard but foul to even the count. Rutledge getting out to as big a lead as he feels is safe. Now with Affeldt stepping off, he'll reset. You raised a very important stat, George, in the fact that Jeremy Affeldt, who's had a lot of them in his career, has not had a wild pitch this season.
He has not, no. He typically will have one by now by bouncing that hard hook.
Rutledge got a great jump. Sanchez throw is not in time. Josh with his 6th stolen base in the winning runs in scoring position.
How about that? A rookie at the plate that can really swing the bat and thrives at knocking in runs. I'd like to see a base hit here and a pile up at first. Have a little walk-off action going. There's the big jump because of the curl of the foot behind the rubber. The pitcher can't go to first base, and Affeldt curled above it. When he did that, it gave a free run, but just a monster jump by Rutledge.
You know, the Giants bring their outfield in left and center. Those are the two speedy guys. Pence in a little bit in right.
Yeah, their infield going to play straight away, try to knock a ball down. I hope Nolan can get a knock here.
Checks his swing, but it is a strike. Rockies have had only 3 hits with runners in scoring position in the series, but they won last night, and if they can get number 4, they could win here this afternoon. With the infield spread out, Rutledge gets a good lead and ready to go on contact. Base hit up the middle. Rutledge rounds third. He's going to score, and the Rockies win it a walk-off. The kid third baseman comes through again. Oh, does he love the opportunity to be a big-time player.
How nice the stolen base by Rutledge, and then the youngster who had gone 0 for 3 in this ball game comes up with a big base hit here in the bottom of the 9th inning to make Rafael Betancourt a winner in the game.
1 for 5 on the day with runners in scoring position. 3 for 18 in the series. But he jumped on the pitch from Affeldt, took it right back up the middle.
Oh, what a great job of hitting. Didn't try to do too much with it, just stayed with it.
And Josh Rutledge, no doubt about it, the stolen base, huge by Rutledge. And the Rockies make it 2 straight over the Giants. It was a fun time at the ballpark this afternoon. My